Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am a little under the weather. You probably can tell from my voice, but bear with me. So I was in the restroom and I was fixing my hair and I was trying to figure out what would be a good second video. And I had a couple of ideas, but then something said, tell the brain story. So here it is. So I suffer from migraines, and I've always suffered from migraines. I'm on medication for the migraines as a preventative. I have to take a pill every day, right? So I went to the eye doctor, and they had this new machine that allowed them to see behind your eye. So I paid the extra cost, got the new test, and the ophthalmologist came in and said, hey, have you been to the doctor lately? And I was like, no, not really. And he was like, well, you should probably talk to a doctor. Do you have migraines? And I said, I actually do have migraines. I said, but I thought it was because I needed glasses, so that's why I'm here. So about 2 weeks later, I woke up with this really, really bad migraine. And I knew that this migraine was different from my other migraines because I literally couldn't even hold my head up. Like I was laying on the bed and I had to grab my face and like get up like that because my head just wouldn't move. Back was hurting. So I'm like, something isn't right. So I called my doctor and I say, hey, can you get me in for an MRI? My migraines are getting worse, blah, 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 blah. So she gets me in, I have an MRI done, and I have a full body scan of the MRI, not just like the brain, not just like the back, but the full body. And so the next morning, she calls me about 5:30 in the morning. So at that point, I'm like, that's kind of odd. Let me answer. So when I answer, I hear her tell someone to shut the door. I'm like, oh God, that's never good, right? So we get on the phone and she's like, I got your scan results back and it's showing that you have about 6 different holes in your brain. And I'm not really sure what these holes are, but it's looking like your options are going to be radiation or brain surgery. And so I'm like, wait, what now? What happened? And she says, I'm going to call you back later because that's all the information that I really have. I'm like, wait, what now? So you call me, you tell me I have holes in my brain. You tell me that my options are radiation or brain surgery, but have a good day. Okay, so of course I'm distraught. I'm calling my friends, I'm crying. I'm like, this lady just told me that I have holes in my brain, XYZ. So I go to work that day. And of course, I'm like crying the whole day. I'm crying at every stoplight. It just tears just flowing. And so my client that day, tell you how things happen and how God works. My client that day, she's like, what's wrong? So I told her. And she said, well, my wife is a ER doctor. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm sorry, not an ER doctor. She is a nurse in the emergency room. And I'm like, oh, no, didn't know that. And she says, I want you to leave here, go straight to the emergency room. My wife is going to get you in quickly. You let the doctor know what's going on. Say less. That's what I did. I got to the ER. I told them that I had just been told that I had holes in my brain and I ain't know what that meant. The doctor didn't know what that meant. And I don't know, but I don't know. So they get me back. The ER doctor does confirm that there are holes in my brain. And he says, okay, well, we need to get you into a neurologist. For some reason, I said, sir, am I going to die today? Because am I going to die today? Because if not, I'm going to go ahead and get me some ice cream. Because I can't take no more today, sir. He said, no, you're not going to die today. Okay, oh, great. Okay. So the weekend, I'm just like obviously depressed. Like, I don't know what's going on. So Monday comes around and I call back to the hospital and I'm like, this is what has happened Thursday and Friday. I don't know who I need to talk to, but I need to get in to see a neurologist. So I leave a message and a nurse calls me back and she says, yeah, we're checking. We have all your information and we're checking, but the next time you can get in to see a neurologist is July. I said, ma'am, it's September. So you're talking about the July already passed. So what July are you talking about? She said, oh, July of 2021. I said, but ma'am, it's 2020. They just told me that I had holes in my brain and that my options were radiation or brain surgery. I said, okay, I'll call you back, ma'am. I went back to the ER and told them what she had told me. And I told them, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to wait until July. Somebody's going to see me, and somebody's going to see me now. When I got to the ER that second time, my actual doctor was at the hospital. And so she said, well, I'll put in a call to another hospital who have a friend that's a neurologist. Yeah, good. Yeah, something, because it ain't going to work. So I get to a neurologist. They had me take a whole bunch of different tests, again, running my scans of my brain. And they say, well, what made you even come in? And I said, well, I went to get some glasses. And they told me that I should get in to see a doctor if I was having migraines. And you guys know I have migraines and blah, 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 blah. But I'm here. So between 7 and 10 days, I saw the doctor about 12 times. Just different doctors, running different tests, seeing what's going on. Ultimately, it turned out that I have something called cavernomas. So I'm going to tell you the medical definition of cavernomas. So cavernomas are enlarged and deformed blood vessels gathered into clusters. A cavernoma can appear in the brain, spinal cord, or other parts of the nervous system and body, including on the skin and eye. That's how my ophthalmologist caught it, because it was behind my eye. So cavernomas, for lay people like me, I said, just be clear, what is it, sir? He said it's basically small holes. And it was determined that I had high blood pressure. As my blood pressure rises, the blood goes through my brain quicker than normal. And if it goes too quickly, then the holes get bigger. So imagine having a small hole and then there's a lot of water. And the force from the water is making the hole get big. That's basically what's happening in my brain. So I have like 8 holes in my brain. And I said, well, do I need brain surgery, sir? Because I'm going to get my hair braided this weekend. And I don't know how brain surgery, I don't know how that works, but I don't know what's going on. He said, no, you don't need brain surgery. You don't need radiation. What we're going to do is put you on blood pressure medication that you need to take every night. And that should help with keeping your blood pressure down, which would help ultimately with the holes staying the size that they are. So I have cavernomas. And I have to take my blood pressure medicine, have to keep my stress down, and I'm living normally. I think this video is important because I was told that I had to have brain surgery or radiation. And had I not advocated for myself, there ain't no telling what would have happened. Had I just sat back and said, I'll just wait till July, who knows what would have happened? Who knows what my life would be like had I not went to the ER, had I not went back to the ER, had I not continued to make calls and say, no, somebody's going to see me now. So the moral of the story is make sure you're advocating for yourself, especially when it deals with your health. They could tell you anything. And them being the professionals, a lot of times we just take what they say. We don't ask questions. We don't make additional calls. We don't get second opinions. We just, okay, I guess I just have cancer. I guess, I guess radiation is my only option. We have to make sure that we're speaking up. We have to make sure that we are advocating for ourselves. We have to make sure that doctors give us real answers. And that's what I did. And ultimately, the doctor said he was happy that I advocated for myself, that I spoke up, that I went to the ER, that I pushed the envelope, that I made calls and made sure that I was seen, because we don't know where I would be had I not. So yeah, that's my story on how I overcame being told that I had holes in my brain. Thanks for watching TV.